Fall in love with the problem, not the solution. That's what motivated my career pivot from creative to business. But let's talk about it as we walk to class. People always want to ask in high school, what do you want to be in life? And usually I respond with something creative, an animator, a fashion designer. But there was one thing that latched onto me, which was being one of the few Asian kids in my community. I felt like I needed to hide parts of who I was just to fit in. Just because there wasn't enough Asian people around, so people would even know what being Asian meant. But one of the turning points of all this is when I actually just saw Asian faces on YouTube. And I felt like I can belong somewhere. And that same feeling of belonging is that same feeling I wanted to create for other people. So I made the decision to focus my career on doing just this, to build representation, because building representation also increases understanding. And with that, other things can come to life that can serve you or your community. So I decided to pursue a career in the arts. I did my undergrad in studio art. I explored all the mediums, but ended up making videos all the time. Eventually, I ended up working with a lot of different Asian YouTubers. I was working with Jubilee. Eventually, I ended up at BuzzFeed for a few years. It was super exciting to work on one of the biggest media platforms at the time. I felt like I made it and that I was probably going to be in this space forever. I made more videos than I could possibly remember, but the thing that I did remember was that the work that made me feel the most alive was the work that featured marginalized communities, whether it was featuring a story about speaking broken English or just putting diverse faces on screen. Those were the most rewarding pieces of work for me. As y'all know, I didn't have that growing up, so I thought it'd be cool to do that for other people. The views would come in incredibly fast. 1 million here, 5 million here, 100 million. It was such a rush to see, especially because I made the video and I always imagined like what would it be like if millions of people watched it and I was doing it, and I was like, wow, I'm living the dream. But just as fast as the views came is just as fast as the views stopped coming. And then you make another video and you make another video, and that's the cycle. It's like being on a treadmill that never stops. Eventually, I got laid off with a bunch of other video people, and I was wondering what I want to do next with my life. And at the time, I was going on different mission trips with my church to Malawi, Africa. We partner with a local organization every single year, investing in the same village, Chiliza, with the hope that by investing in this one small village, it would have a ripple effect on neighboring villages until a whole country is transformed. And it was super cool because we were there doing things like after school programs for the kids, implementing a feeding program so the kids have food to eat, because you can't learn when you are really hungry, you know what I'm saying? We were also administering medical aid and starting a sustainable farming program as well. It was my job to capture all of this, to make sure that we were able to tell the story of what was going on in this part of the world. And if you asked me a few years ago if I would do something like this, honestly, I would say no. But I'm really glad I did. And if I could find a job that had elements of this, I would be really happy. I didn't know how to look for a job that I never had before, so I just Googled it. I Googled best companies to work for, and I found that Who Gives a Crap was the top search result. So I checked it out, and it is an Australian, eco-friendly toilet paper company that donates 50% of its profits to help build toilets in developing countries. That's actually super cool. I was thinking back at my time in Malawi, in the village, when I actually used the toilets, and I realized how important it is to actually keep this community healthy, right? It can contain waste so it doesn't end up in the water so people don't get sick, right? It's also important to have a bathroom nearby a school so people don't have to travel too far just to use the bathroom and then miss out on their education. So toilets are super important. and Who Gives a Crap was looking for their first video hire in Los Angeles that was interested in viral videos, social impact, marketing, and even baking. And oddly enough, I fit the bill for this very eclectic job. During my first year, the pandemic hit. And if you remember what happened with toilet paper, it became the hottest item to purchase. We actually sold out on our toilet paper for the longest time. And because we sold out on our inventory, we were actually able to donate $5 million that year to do more than just build toilets. We donated $5 million to our charity partners to also improve water, sanitation, and hygiene in developing countries, which is a very big deal because if you remember also that year, good hygiene and proper hand washing was top of mind for everyone. I was inspired to move on from creating videos that would help marginalized communities to now, which is creating businesses, which also can help marginalized communities. It's the same problem, but with a different solution. And I started thinking about the ways that I learn, because how am I gonna learn business? And I thought school, because I actually like school, and I like that it's a concentrated time where I just learn a bunch of topics, just like a straight deep dive. And I also like being surrounded by like-minded individuals that are doing the same thing. And if I wanted to pivot into a very specific type of role, my MBA would give me the flexibility to do so. And this, my friends, is where the long journey to prepare just to apply to business school began. And if you want to know how I made that transition with preparing for the GREs or preparing my application, make sure you subscribe for the next video and sign up for my newsletter. And if you have a very specific question that you want me to address, put it in the comments below. I might get to it. Other than that, be kind, unwind. See you next time. Since this is the end of the video, might as well address some things. I took the very long way to get to class, right? It was the scenic route. I'm also well aware that I was like, oh, I'm transitioning from videos to business, but I'm out here still making videos because yeah, I still like making videos, y'all. And I still also like the idea that I could possibly help some of you pursue your MBA as well. So if y'all looking to transition from creative to business, follow your boy.